When I think about my close friends, we're really not that close. And what I mean by that is not necessarily that we ever got a close connection, that we're not people that communicate well, we don't even communicate frequently, to be honest. Like, when we think about the term close friends nowadays, like, what does it actually mean to you? I'll even put that forward. Because when I think about my close friends, we don't communicate that often. We don't see each other that often. We don't live that close to each other as well, you thought I was saying to you. But when we do communicate, when we do connect, it's very genuine, and the friendship is that we're all grounded in like what we're doing. But you got to realize, like, even though we have all of these, well, even though I'll talk for myself in this instance, even though I have all of these friends, oftentimes I can still feel like they're not close, or I can still feel like there's separation between us, and that could cause loneliness. You know what I'm saying? But what I've learned throughout my journey is that even though like I'm not close to them, like we're all on similar journeys. You know, because I'm not close to them and they're not close to other people in a sense of like distance. You feel what I'm saying to you? In a sense of like being able to communicate frequently. And the reason why this is like, the reason why nowadays, like when you begin to get older, even like with how the world's set up now, you don't communicate with people as frequently as you once did. And you got to recognize, and I've recognized that all of us are on our own separate journeys. And because we're on our separate journeys, we are required to do things that allow us to be alone, you know, to think, you know, to go to certain places, to perform certain acts as well, you know. It requires a certain level of focus, and a lot of the time men are becoming increasingly lonely because they're on their own journeys, and their friends and their people and their peers are also on their own journey. And that's what it comes down to. In order to be fully immersed in what you're doing, you need to understand that this is what's going on. And what I'm going to be talking about now is how you can allow this to be a part of you, part of your journey, and allow yourself to become more comfortable with it. Yeah. So let's get further into this. What's going on? My name is Christopher Daniels, and today we're going to be talking simply about like why men are becoming increasingly lonely. You feel? And first and foremost, if you're new, I just want to say welcome, and welcome back to anybody that's been here before. The Don't Stress, Don't Panic family. We keep it active over here on this side. Yeah. So when we're talking about loneliness, yeah, with men, a lot of the time it comes down to the direction in which we're heading in. And what I've noticed is like, for me personally, I embarked on my journey from early on. I think about the age of 16, where I left London, where I grew up, and I was with another friend of mine, but everyone else, you know, was kind of like spaced out. So I had to meet new people I was around new people, and I wasn't really close to my inner circle anymore, you know. But with that, what you realize is that you begin to build connections to what it is that you're actually doing and what it is that what you're interested in, you know? And at that point in time for me, it was basketball. That was what I was doing. I was very involved in basketball, and that was my thing. And by being away and being in that space, it gave me that time to really immerse myself in what I was doing and become better at what I was doing. You know, the development happens when you create some sort of isolation and you're not distracted, you know? So a lot of the time when we are in these spaces where we say that we are lonely, you've got to recognize and you've got to look at like what's actually happening in that space, you know. From every time I moved away, like there's always something that's happened, you know. I moved away then. I moved to Ghana for, well, I didn't really, you can't call it, I don't know if I'll call it a move, but after university, I moved to Ghana. I was there for 6 months. Went over there, and then again in 2021, I went to Ghana for a year. And like both times I was doing different things over there, but like I always learn something new when I'm in spaces where I'm isolated. And even though like my friends are there, they're still my friends out there. They are not by me, you know. And it can be extremely lonely. I think is the most challenging thing like is when you're not doing anything like related to like what you're there for, you know. So obviously I was there like the second time I was there like working on my coaching stuff, like the work side, the business side of coaching, like everything. I'm still doing it at this point when I'm here in London. But at the same time, it feels a lot more comfortable being in a place that I grew up. And what you got to recognize is, regardless of what it is, everything that you do comes back and is going to teach you something that's going to help you to be better at what you are doing. So for me personally, when it came to moving away like constantly, what I notice is every time I come back, I know something new. I feel more grounded. I feel more connected to what I'm doing, you know. And I'm always a little bit better. I've taken a few steps ahead, you know. And even though we do have friends, we do have people there, and sometimes we might feel a bit further away from them. We may feel that we're not connected. We may not feel close to them. You've got to recognize that the same way that you're on your journey, I guarantee you they're on some sort of journey as well, you know. So it's just normal, and you've got to recognize that the more that you wish to grow, the more that you wish to develop, you're gonna have more journeys that are like this. You're gonna have more situations where you feel isolated, more situations where you feel like there's no one to communicate with around you, but it's happening for a cause, you know. You're gonna become more grounded, you're gonna become more connected to yourself, you're gonna feel a lot better, and that's what it is, you know. Is that patience, that ability to develop that patience and just be calm, relaxed, yeah. That's the main thing, yeah. Don't stress, don't panic, just make sure that you're staying relaxed, yeah. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. And other than that, I will be seeing you again very shortly, yeah. Blessings.